here's what I'll say. Uh, to the Sixers have come to the point where they're starting to act like the Flyers because they're signing people who are just moral Teflon just to say that, oh, we got the they just want the good PR guys around. Who are they? The two best PR guys on this team right now is Tyrese Maxey and it's B-Ball Paul, not Paul Reed, B-Ball Paul. And I gotta be honest, the right thing to do for this team would be to be surrounding Joel Embiid with as many shooters as possible. And look, all respect to Paul Reed's game, he is not a shooter. He's not going to spot
Nope.
up, take shots from the three. So now you have him and PJ Tucker. Like you have two people who really can't connect on the three, even though PJ Tucker claims that he can. Um, you're not really doing the best to build around Joel Embiid, which is your best way, despite your feelings. It's the best way to win a championship is to build around Joel Embiid.
This is
Um,
exactly what we talked about during the Brett Brown era with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid in the first place.
and now
Surround those
Horford.
shooters. Yeah,
Yeah,
and you know what I mean? Like we've been doing this the entire time the process has happened, and I'm with you. Like I'm sick of it. Like, come on. Like, how many times do we have to do this? Like, I get you weren't making the offseason you necessarily wanted, and there was trades being made that people were improving, but what you did wasn't going to put you over the top. So why are you doing it? Why are you hamstringing yourself by guaranteeing B-Ball Paul 3 years? Because you know you're making the second round. Like that's generally what you do. You get through the first round and then you lose in the second. So why are you going to guarantee the next 2 years of his contract for that much when you don't have the cap room? You're already trying to figure that out, and you know you have to add another star. And if Harden truly wants out, that's still going to be like it's a mess. It's a mess.
yeah. And the thing about Harden is, look, Dame can say he wants to go to Heat and he'll only do this, that, and third. But the best thing that the Sixers or anyone could really do, because Dame, speaking of Teflon, Dame Lillard is so Tefloned up that people are blaming his agent for this mess and not him, which is kudos to his agent. That's good work. Because if you're such a good agent that you're taking the heat for your client, that is amazing.
Yeah.
But obviously, this is all Dame's doing, and he's the one pulling all these strings. And if he's trying to say he only wants to go to the Heat, well, then villainize him in his own town. How do you do that? You let slip through the cracks that, well, the Sixers are offering James Harden and Tyrese Maxey. Who the fuck else is going to offer anything even close to that in the NBA? Not no one. Not no one.
I mean, because
So,
that's a huge package.
giggity. That's not what she said to me. But anyway, I digress. But it's one of those things where it's like you let that leak out, right? And then now that pressure is on Dame Lillard, his camp, because everyone in Portland is going, we need to take the best deal. This is the best deal. We need Tyrese Maxey, blah blah, because they're gonna believe that he's the next, star to build
Something.
around.
He's at least marketable for the Trailblazers to be like, all right, cool. Like, hey, we got who we've added, through the draft. We have Tyrese Maxey. We have building blocks to move forward. And that's what they're doing. We have Harden to keep us at least competitive. Like that's what they're trying to sell.
Yeah, and again, it's right now you're letting the Heat beat you in that press because the Heat are going to go, well, we're going to give Tyler Hero, and that's at least a young player, and the look, it's going to be tough, but that's at least what Portland sells to their fan base is Tyler Hero, and then but again, you can counter with Maxi just like that.
Exactly.
So by going and saying that he's untradeable, you're not doing yourself any favors in this instance. Now, there's still the Zach LaVine thing that's looming. That is still one of the better moves that I think that could happen for this franchise. But we shall see. Again, that's my big gripe with the Sixers right now is it feels like they're making moves based off of what the loud and angry fans want, which is Tyrese Maxey, which is Paul Reed. They would have brought back Georges Niang if they could have. I'm surprised they didn't bring back Shake Milton. But
No, but they will trade. a player for a rental that you won't even re-sign that same player that you traded for.
Yeah.
That why would you do that with a perennial all defensive player type guy?
Yeah. Again, it's tough. And again, with the Sixers, it's just going to be wake me up when you get in the second round of the playoffs. That's kind of what this is looking to be, another one of those seasons.
Yep.
And I guess now we'll just wait for all the pins to fall. But things are kind of they're moving. And now we'll be moving right on into some Philadelphia Phillies talk because we just had an All-Star break.
We did.
You feeling refreshed after that break, Keith? You feeling a little
feeling,
refreshed?
I'm feeling very refreshed because I saw Nick Castellanos do what he's been doing, kind of all year for us at the All-Star game, which was nice.
Yeah, he struck
Very
out
nice.
his first at bat. Then he walked, which was the tying run out of the 2 runs to take them ahead. And then he had a single in the ninth too, just for a little insurance.
Well, insurance.
Craig Kimbrell, easy save, right? Easy save.
Billy
Never,
Robb making Kimbrel the closer there. That's awesome.
never sweat that one. Wasn't looking at his pitch count, thinking maybe it's time to take him out. It's the All-Star game. Were you? I was. No, it's my boy. I was considering. I'm still considering a Kimbrel All-Star jersey because I know they're
That's a
out there.
solid one.
The other one I was thinking, but they're already sold out. There were XLs at the time I was on the site. I bet they're sold out. Was a Shohei American League. I probably should have just bought it while I was on,
Should've.
but yeah.
That's there. There's no shame in that because he's having
It's
like
just-
the greatest season of all time.
Here's the thing. I just it's almost why when I went to Boston, I was like, I'm in the store. I'm like, do I even need? I have so many shirts, and yet I don't go out, right? Like, so what do I need all these shirts for other than to wear them on here? So it's like I'm to the point where I'm like, I have too many shirts. So I'm like I'm trying to bring in a new minimalist and conserve mentality. But then there's but it's Shohei, and I want to wear it for this show. But I digress. Phillies second half. Eagles should be awesome. Yeah. Eagles will be kicking off, and we'll do some Eagles talk, down the road, and but I had them off the docket tonight. I'm not gonna lie. It was a 3-for-4 show lined up, and now we're kind of cutting it into a 2-for-4 show. But most of the show today was actually like, it's just it's the All-Star break, so we wanted to talk just baseball and baseball stadiums in general. And I thought that was again the Facebook really took it, and that's when we were like, let's make it a little show topic too, because
Listen,
everyone loved it. Everyone loved it. I did not
it's
expect it.
it's an all-star break show. I mean, that's what it is. That's what you talk about some baseball. You talk about a little bit of nonsense, and that's what today is. It's supposed to be lighthearted.
Keith, what are you feeling for the Phillies? You say it's supposed to be lighthearted, and then I'm going to hit you with, what do you feel for the Phillies going into the second half? Are they a playoff team?
Well, I think they have better chances than that kid in the outfield during Vlad Guerrero's home run derby.
Right in the face. Yes.
I needed to slide that one in there because I wanted to get away from the All-Star game without talking about that. He was a champ though. He got carted off the field, but he walked it off.
Yeah, that was good.
No, I think that honestly, I like the Phillies' chances. In the second half, I think they were making some good headway. I think if Harper can play first base and you can add a left fielder, solid hitting left fielder, that way you can shove Schwarber back into the DH. That would be ideal. But if I had to pick between a left fielder and a starting pitcher, give me the starting pitcher.
Yeah, I don't want to pick in between. I think they need a right-handed. They need a right-handed bat, one that could either play first base and or left field.
Yes.
They need that. Like, that's a need. They need another pitcher. Whether that be front end or back, they need one. They should go get 1-1-1, but that's never really how things turn out, right? So let's be a little realistic. Let's go
I'll
out
have
there.
1 to 2 additions. Like
Let
that's realistic.
let's go out there and let's go get another Noah Syndergaard. Like go get another move just like that. That's going to just shore up some innings down the stretch because we're not getting Painter back. Like that's not happening this year.
No.
We've let that ship set sail. So yeah, in my opinion, you go just like you said, Keith. You find a bat. You find, preferably a left fielder. Look,
We're all rooting for that
Greg
Harper thing.
reaffirmed me today that Bryce Harper playing outfield will not happen this season.
Oh, it's not going to.
I guess I'm just gonna stop with that and accept that if he can play anywhere on the field, that'll help this team. Fine. And so with that, then yeah, again, if you can find someone, it's got to be a right-handed bat with some pop, and preferably that can play left field. If not first base. We've heard some Arenado rumors that don't seem to have a ton of levity. We've seen some Goldschmidt.
I would love Goldschmidt. I really would.
Goldschmidt.
I've always had a baseball crush on him.
Yeah, that would be. If there's a splash, that might be the one. I don't see it happening though. I gotta be honest. I think we're gonna get two. I think we're gonna get two moves, kind of mid-tier, but like settling in roles, much like what they did last year, where they just found the right pieces for this team. You could argue they've already made one of those moves already in getting Christian Pache in here early on in the season. Really hit a home run. And you could say the same about Cody Clemens as well, because that's another move. Look, hat tip to him. I know a lot of people were upset that he's not here. It's the right move. It's definitely the right move. But the fact that you have a guy in your system that can come up and contribute the way that he did is a tribute to Dombrowski and his move making in this offseason, because that was Cody Clemens was sort of the throw-in in the Soto deal, was it, that you got him in with the Tigers, I believe. So he was kind of just like a throw-in, and that's how good GMs work. Those throw-ins are the ones that kind of end up being pieces, and so man, it's kind of just now going to a wait and see period as we kind of approach the end of July, and monitor the situation. I guess to answer the question I asked you, Keith, I'm with you again, just to piggyback off of your thoughts. I think the Phillies, and I said it this time last year. I said it in the offseason this year. I'm going to say it this time this year. I think the Phillies are a top 6 team in the National League.
Correct.
Get me there, and then let's go from there.
I think I said 93 wins, and I'm going to stick by that.
Yeah, I don't have like a number in mind, like right now, especially. I can't even remember. I don't want to dig through my notes and start wasting time.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll say. I said at the beginning of the season, they're a top 6 team. I still think they are.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to go, and that was even, that was pre-losing Rhys Hoskins. Even after losing Hoskins, same sentiments. I think that the trade deadline now will kind of pick up the slack, and hopefully you can kind of make up for, look, we've all seen in this first half, Rhys Hoskins' presence has been missed in the batting lineup, especially.
Batting lineup, clubhouse, you can tell that it was in the beginning of the year, it was a little funky for them. Like everything was a little off.
Yeah, everything but the fielding. Like, let's be real. I love Reese. I'm not here to bash, but I guess let's keep it a little hundred. But yeah, he's missed, and for all the Reese haters, take note, because you're probably a Nola hater too. So just take note what happens when they're not there. But yeah,
we are only a half game back right now in the wild card, so as far as, we're talking about, what they ultimately will end up as, like you said, as a top 6 team. And I think that's going to happen, but you have to make some kind of a move if you're going to get over that hump, because you have the Giants, the Diamondbacks, and the Marlins all ahead of you. But you're only a half game out from San Francisco.
So, here's what I'll say to why I feel good about this team, and maybe you can counter me just as easily with these words, the same exact words. But have the Phillies played their best baseball yet?
No.
Me either. That gives me hope. So there's two ways to look at that, right? Oh, that means they're a bad team, or that for me, who believed in them prior, and taking in things like the Rhys Hoskins injury, things like the Bryce Harper injury, things like the Alvarado, like people going down.
Sir Anthony has been out a little bit too. Like
all of this into consideration and look at where we are, and you're going, all right, well. Let's hope for Alvarado and our, we don't know too much about them, but okay, say we get them healthy, and Bryce is just going to continue to get better as the season goes on, and eventually Trey Turner is going to make his money this year. And then you have guys like Castellanos, who has proven that last year was a fluke. And you have Schwarber, who's had kind of a down year this year, but which again could probably mean that he's due for a hot streak. So again, I just look at this team. Nola and Wheeler haven't even given you their 100 yet.
Absolutely not.
I just continue to see. If I'm like in the stock market, I think this team, the Phillies it's already too late to buy, but they're just going to be a team that's going to continue a steady rise right now from here on out.
Put your money on them if you bet.
I think it starts with the offensive move. I think that's the first one that happens. Then you go get the pitcher. But I think that's what happens now. I think this team goes out. You're going to have to figure out very fast if Bryce Harper can play first base at a major league level. You might pivot insanely quick and try to go really get a first baseman if it proves that that's not going to work. But again, I think that the move, like you said, Keith, is you go get a right-handed left fielder that's got pop and can play, and then you want to start getting guys like Schwarber and or Castellanos into the DH role a little bit as well. But what made you just go, ooh? Did I see a ooh?
You did see an ooh. MLB released their schedule for next year.
Oh, yeah. We did. We got Greg actually posted that for us.
We have Atlanta at Philly to open on March 28th. That was the ooh. Nice, I like that. Nice. Everybody plays on opening day next year. Every single team, which love it.
Can we start doing the second day isn't the off day, though?
Yeah.
Because, look, I get built-in off days. Why not after the series? Why not 1, 2, 3, then a day off? Because then if there's a game rained out in any of those three, you have a built-in to already move in. Which is because that's what they usually go with. It's in case of weather. But you can do it. MLB, I'm just a guy who's slightly overweight in a chair on a Twitch stream. Why can't I think of these things you can't?
Yeah, I guess slightly is a fair statement, yeah.
Is it more? Is it more or less? Is it more?
No, I just want you to think about it for a second.
More or less, because how much do I got to drink before I go to bed tonight, Keith? Is it more or less?
Either way, it's maybe the same amount.
Oh, man. So Ohtani possible? Boy, I wish. I don't think so.
Give what we would have to give
ESPN,
to get him.
ESPN in their funny guy thing did put the Phillies and Boston Red Sox in they have an outside chance, which means they're big markets and we want to include them in this post. But man, if you can get a guy like that even as a rental, why the bleep not? So the thing about that is he kind of cures up both things. I mean, he's the bat. He's not really he's not a right-handed bat, but you can take it whatever.
You take those.
But he wouldn't be your fielding problem wouldn't get any better. But my God, your team would. Your team would.
I'm down for that.
It just would. Yeah, let me check the rundown. Let me check. I think we knocked it all out of the park tonight. We sure as
We
F
did.
did. Any final? You got anything else? Any final thoughts? We could do
I
a
got my
little bit of both.
my I guess kind of final thought is just I want to talk about how good these are.
I, you know, Keith, I want to tell you just. I kept seeing you sip. You were sipping that, right? But
Yep.
then you were also sipping a nice little guy as
Oh yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I drink all the fine things.
so I'm like, he's got some sort of. You're like a bourbon or whiskey usually. Is that what?
Yeah, you are correct. I do have a bourbon, Larceny. It's
Okay.
my it's my go-to inexpensive brand.
Well, someone. I saw someone sponsoring that not too long ago. Someone that I like. I bleep with.
It's like
The Larson.
25 something like 25 to 28-ish dollars like for a bottle, which is great.
So I saw that and I took that into inventory, but then I kept seeing what I knew was an Arizona can, right?
But it was skin.
But I'm like, yes, I'm like, it's skinny. So does that mean? And then you just showed it to the camera. Now where do I make those kind of purchases? Where do I get one of
Um,
them?
they should be at most distributors. I got mine at Bounds up by us.
Oh,
And if you can't find them by you, I'll hook you up.
yeah. I'm working in Warminster again too, so bound.
Ooh, yeah.
It's like a
Burns probably has it
It's
too.
like a fit. Oh god damn! I'm right there. I could
I know.
crack them open
Because
on the ride
Mertens,
home.
I would say,
Road
Mertens usually
soda.
has some good stuff.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, no, I got mine at Bounds though. That was actually a good friend of ours, Kevin Donahue. Was the one who alerted me to their presence.
yeah, I have to. I will try that one because I've
Yeah,
been
it's
every
dude.
now.
It
I
just
like
tastes just like it too.
I like the curbside. I think it's called the iced tea and vodka
Mhm.
ones that are kind of. Murph actually, he's the one that got me into them because he left a couple in my house. After when the hell was the last event you were over for cards or Super Bowl or whatever the last event you were over for, Murph? But I had a couple. Oh, they're a tasty little treat. But yeah, I'm gonna go find me some of them for sure, for sure.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They taste just like they had a 3 different flavor pack, and I got 20, two 12 packs, of course.
Nice.
But it's a regular, a green tea, and a peach.
Nice.
I'm a little disappointed. I like the raspberry. That's like my favorite. But
Yeah, I would go just regular. When it comes to iced tea, I gotta do just regular. If it's got booze, I can do maybe half and half lemonade. But
yeah, well, that's what they do is their regular quote unquote is the iced tea with lemon. So
yeah, so iced tea with lemon. But then there's also like the Arnold Palmer, which is like
yeah, yeah.
iced tea and lemonade.
They
Now,
don't they don't. Yeah.
if there is booze in it, I can drink it. If vodka is touching my lemon or lemonade, I can drink it. If there is no vodka with said lemonade, I cannot drink it.
Joe Hunter, I am a big fan of the CLTs as well. I am a very big fan of
Ah,
those.
nice. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm an iced tea guy, so my belly can't do beer anymore. It doesn't like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Teasman, you're a Teasman.
Cheeseman.
Yeah. I guess my final thoughts were kind of the like what I would do with the final thoughts. I kind of did with the opening, which is just talk. I guess what we can do. My final thoughts. Here we go. I didn't get this one in. You even said we'll still talk about it. But yeah, I guess what I did go out there for Boston was my latest esports event, which was for the Rocket League Boston Major at the Agganis Arena, which was where I saw my first. I was back to where it all started.
Say I
Uh,
know you'd been there before.
yeah, I saw the Cloud9 Boston Major when the first ever American Counter Strike team won the major on home soil. So that was cool. And again, all I can say is this: since I'm talking to the sports crowd, and hell, some of y'all maybe even remember the days of COVID when I would stream Rocket League. Give it a chance, man. If there's ever a sports like if you're a sports person, you could see Rocket League and you could just get into it immediately because it's soccer, it's 3v3, except it's fucking flying rocket cars. And I didn't go to Wahlburg. I actually didn't have a burger of any sort in I didn't do
Okay.
many of the tourist things. I did a lot of the markets. We did Quincy Market, and what the hell was the other name of the market that I did? That was the one. The other market, Quincy Market, was like more historical and reminded me a lot of like Reading Terminal Market. Landmark Center, it looks like that was the other market that we went to. That I'm like staring at the picture of my beer. Everywhere that I went, I got a different Sam Adams that I could try on tap. As you guys know, and I've said this before, I hate Sam Adams Lager. The regular Sam Adams is dog water. That said,
Okay.
now for as much as I trash that one, all of their crafts are phenomenal, and they're even better from like we went to a tap house, like
I
getting
have
one
heard
of.
their Boston Lager is different, like fresh in Boston.
No, I still don't want it. It's dog water. I want the like Fenway IPA that I had while
Okay.
I was out there. That's exclusive to like the tap house that I bought. Like I want their IPA. Like there's a double IPA that they make. There's like a red IPA. Sam Adams makes, and they make things that aren't IPAs too. If I'm boring you with all that, their craft beers are phenomenal. I've never had one that hasn't been like above average at worst. Their Samuel Adams lager is dog water. I wouldn't give it to my cat. I wouldn't give it like that's but so, I for as much as I can praise something, I can knock them down.
Listen, Denver's a realist. You can't give them bad beer.
So, yeah, I mean, um came home to a dead wasp. My boy just knocked out a so Sam Adams at brewery. So we didn't do the brewery. We did it with a tap house, which I thought I could get
Different.
some break from the air, but they don't believe in air condition apparently in Boston, or they do, but it's like even our hotel we had set to 64 the whole time. If a hotel room is set to 64, you should get in it and be freezing,
It
right?
should be freezing.
It wasn't. Like it just was not 64. It wouldn't go past like it had like a limiter. It wouldn't go down below that. And it was hot up there like the entire time. Even the Sunday it was like 77, but it was so freaking humid. I mean, you guys dealt with it here, so I'm not saying anything. Like I'm sure it was the same here, if not worse. But yeah. I don't know. That's about my final thoughts tonight. I don't really have much else.
No, I don't really either.
All I can say is hope you guys, like us, get out there and have a little summer vacation, enjoy some places, see some sports, rock some Phillies gear like I did. A lot of Phillies gear in Boston, lots of Phillies gear, and then a lot of Eagles gear at the Rocket League event because we were all waiting for Boston Scott to show up in Boston, but he didn't. But again,
Uh,
one last pitch. Because Rocket League Worlds will be coming up. It's like the even bigger, like they do like majors, and then this is like the championship, the Super Bowl. Will be coming up just right around the corner. And if there's ever a time that you're going to give an esport a shot, do that. The crowd is going to be even bigger than the one that I was just a part of. But yeah, it's going to be fun. We got Eagles training camp around the corner. We got Phillies playoffs hopefully coming around the corner. We got two dead teams in the Sixers and Flyers. We got so
listen.
yeah, I guess with that, Keith, anything else?
Uh, Go Phils.
Bleep, yeah. Well, on that note then, it's time to put a bow on this pretty little show. I'm Anthony Pinto.
Keith Malszewski.
And we are out of here.